So I'm making this video. So, stupidity is a choice. What I mean by stupidity is a choice, I mean that in the age of information that we live in today, it is, you either are choosing to remain ignorant or you're choosing to get educated. That's it. So, when I was in school, you needed school to learn. It was before YouTube was really had a bunch of information on it. It was before, we realized that, scientific articles were online. It was before all this shit. It was before Google made Google Scholar. It was before all of that, right? But ever since I got out of high school, I've learned so much more out of high school than I did in high school because I utilized the internet. I utilized the tool. I stopped watching TV. I don't watch Netflix unless it's with my girlfriend or unless it's with my daughter, right? I don't watch, I do watch entertainment videos here and there, but they're usually YouTube videos because I like real people. I like to hear real people talk about their real life. I don't want to hear fake lives made from fake people only made to make money, right? Because a lot of movies, now if I find a movie that was from someone's imagination, that's dope. But a lot of TV shows today are made in a boardroom when they're trying to figure out how can they make the TV show that makes the best money, that that has the best ratings or makes the most money. So it's like, so I don't tend to watch those things. I tend to get educated. I read research papers. The funny part is, I have an extremely hard time reading. The funny part is, in school, I would basically had a reading, disability because, it was hard for me to comprehend what I'm reading. I can read a chapter from a book, but I will not be able to tell you what I just read because it's almost like the me that listens to people when they talk. So when people talk, I listen to what they say and I take it in. The me that listens, that takes in the information, is too busy speaking when I'm reading. I don't know how to explain it other than that, and that's the way my mind works. But so I've had trouble reading. So when I read a paragraph or a research paper, I have to read it multiple times for me to fully get it. But I do that. I'm willing to do that. I've watched videos hundreds of times. I've watched hundreds of thousands of videos. But each individual video I've probably watched 100 times, maybe even more, right? Some videos I've watched so much that I can mouth the words with the people that are saying it. Because I want to be able to know what you know, completely, right? I want to be able to know, I research entrepreneurship, scientists, psychedelic philosophers, old philosophers, I research, history, I research plant biology, different molecules in different plants, I research the different receptors that drugs attach to, I research about technology and where technology is going, where the human race is going, how we're going to Mars, all this fucking shit like VR, AR, AI, the future of medicine, the future of humans, genetic engineering. This is all the shit that I research and I learn, and I'm learning more and more about these topics every single day. That's why I say stupidity is a choice. Because I don't even have my GED. So what's your excuse? Right? I don't have my GED. I have basically a reading disability, but I'm still trying to write a book, right? Even though, if it wasn't for technology, I'd be screwed on writing a book, because without technology, I can't spell correctly. It's hard for me to spell. I don't know where the right punctuations go. All this shit can be fixed with Grammarly, right? All this shit can be fixed with, spell check. So, spell check, I use the tools to help me get my ideas out, right? But I do not allow my disabilities, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, my problem with comprehending what I'm reading, or not being able to know where punctuations go because I didn't pay attention in school, or not really, just those basic things, right? That doesn't stop me from writing a book. I'm fucking 5 chapters into one of my books, and I'm 2 chapters into another book that I'm writing, right? It's I still make videos all the time. People say that I'm highly intelligent. I say that I'm highly intelligent on the topics that I know, and I'm highly stupid on the topics that I don't know, because stupidity is a choice. I choose to be stupid on the topics that I have no interest in, right? I'm not interested in learning, I don't know, I guess what's interesting is, as I was thinking about it, if somebody offered to teach me about almost anything, I'm willing to learn it. I'm not willing to learn. Let me think of something. I don't know. I guess I'm willing to learn anything. Now that I think about it, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I guess I'm willing to learn anything. It's just right now my interests happen to be about psychedelic space, the human consciousness. What is consciousness? What is God? What is reality? Why do humans exist? Where are humans going? What are we moving towards? What is technology for? My mind is filled with questions, and I search the universe and internet for those questions. I use psychedelics to learn. I use psychedelics for the same reason I use the internet, to travel through a space to learn information, right? That's what I do. I love to learn. I have an addiction to learning. I need to learn. It's something that I need to do now. I don't know so if I'm not learning something, I'll be mad at myself, right? If I go to bed tomorrow morning, like tonight, right, and I didn't learn anything new today, I'll be mad at myself. I'll be up all night trying to learn something new. I feel like I have to learn something new every day, because if not, what am I doing? This is just me though. But that's why I say stupidity is a choice, because you can choose to be stupid. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a choice. You can say that, oh, you don't know how to do this. Or you could say that, oh, I want to start a business, I just don't know how. You could say, oh, I want to do this with my life, I just don't know how. I want to be a painter, I just don't know how to paint. I want to be a musician, I just don't know how to record music. I want to be this, I just don't know how to. All of that can be simply fixed with you going on Google and saying, how can I do this? If you said, okay, Google, if you said, hey Siri, if you said any of that, right, to your phone, I guarantee your phone will give you the information that you need. You say, hey, how to do this? How can I do this? Or you go on YouTube, how to do this, how to build a house, how to start a business, how to use psychedelics, how to extract cannabis oil from cannabis, how to meditate, how you could do how-tos on calculus, how to learn calculus, and then you'll go through people that will teach you calculus. How to learn rocket science, you'll go through people that will teach you how to learn rocket science. How to learn chemistry, you'll go through people trying to teach you chemistry. All the information is out there. You have to search for it. If you're not searching for it, you're not going to learn it. If you don't ask the question, you won't get the answer. And that's basically where we're at in our human history, is so many people right now don't have an interest in learning. School makes learning boring because it makes you learn things that you're not interested in. But now that I've been out of school for years now, and it's like the whole time I've been out of school, I've just been researching things I'm interested in, things I want to learn, right? And because of that, I love it. I'm addicted to it. I go through different stages. At first, I went through a stage learning only things about space. And I researched things about space and space nebulas and how stars are made, how planets are made, how this, how that, all that, right? Then I went through how it was the Earth created, and then you figure out it was just dust, and then it formed eventually, and then you just get to the whole story about how the plants evolved, how the animals evolved, how things evolved out of the water, how single cell organisms turned into multi-cell organisms, all that, right? Then I don't research that stuff anymore because I feel like I already got that down packed. So then I switched to philosophy after that. Started learning more about philosophy. Terence McKenna, Alan Watts, just different philosophers, things like Socrates, his life, all these things that I didn't pay attention to in school, so I had no idea about any of this shit until after school. So then after I went through the whole philosophy thing, I moved on to entrepreneurship. So then I researched everything about entrepreneurship. And each of these topics took about a year of research, like a year of researching space, a year and only space, a year of researching philosophy and only philosophy, a year of researching entrepreneurship and only entrepreneurship. And now here I am 5 years later into me beginning to learn and research things. And it's like I've come to realize I've gained so much information because I've become addicted to needing to learn new things, just constantly moving on to learning more things I don't know. Right? I guess the very first thing I learned when I was like 12, 13 is I taught myself how to record music. My dad helped me a little bit, but I taught myself how to master the audio myself. I taught by listening, by listening to the audio, turning frequencies down and up, switching the frequencies, adding a compression even though I didn't know what that meant, and hearing that it made it more crisp. And so I'd add compression, I'd add, maybe a reverb, but not too much. Maybe one time I added too much, I didn't like it, so the next time I added a little bit less. And I slowly learned by hands-on. Nobody taught me how to use Fruity Loops. I slowly learned from hands-on. I was given Fruity Loops at 13 years old, and still to this day, I don't know half of the things on how to use Fruity Loops, but I know it enough to make a beat, right? I've always been, self-education for me has been key, to get self-educated. I've never relied on any institution to educate me whatsoever, because when I was in school, I didn't pay attention. My grades were 40s and 50s and 60s, right? They were not, I wasn't paying attention in school because I didn't want to. I was focused on me trying to become a rapper. The reason why I'm so good at speaking, I feel like, and what's so crazy is I have a learning disability with the whole writing thing in a way, but it's like, I love to write and I'm really good at it because I used to write raps all the time. I've written hundreds of raps. I've made over 500 songs. So I've written hundreds of raps, all with bars, similes, metaphors. Before I even knew what a simile and metaphor was, I was using them, I was speaking them, I was writing them out. Then I figured out that a simile is comparing using like or as. A metaphor is when you don't use like or as. And it's like, I didn't know that, but I was doing that before I understood it, when I was younger. So it's like, I've always been a hands-on person to learn with hands-on self-education. And I think that's what we need. We need to self-educate ourselves. We need to realize that with the internet today, we can self-educate. We can get educated on any topic we want. It's up to you. The problem is, college is not needed anymore. But for people who need a push, college is needed. But honestly, if you're going to succeed in life, you need to be the type of person that can push yourself. You need to be the type of person that can motivate yourself. I'm self-motivated to learn because I'm addicted to it. Do you think the drug addict who's addicted to heroin has any problem being motivated to get his heroin? Not at all. He's extremely motivated to get his heroin every single day. Why? Because he's addicted to it. He needs it. There's a difference. I need to learn. When you get to a point where you need to bring in information, you need to learn new things, because that means you realize that information is true power. Because the more information you have, the more rich you actually are. Just because you have paper does not mean you're rich. I'm mentally rich because I have a lot of knowledge and I've made a lot of mistakes, so I have wisdom from my mistakes that I've made from personal experience. But it's like, all the knowledge I have now is nothing compared to the knowledge I will have when I'm 50 years old. 25 years from right now, I'll have so much more knowledge than I do now, because my addiction to information will never stop. I will always want to learn more and more and more. So, because I always want to learn more and more, I can only imagine where this is going to go. This is why things like lion's mane mushroom help me, things like chaga, things like kratom, things like ormus, things like cannabis, things like, I use plants to help my mind, and that's just me personally. But like, I just think information is key. All the plants I just mentioned, I've researched everything about them, all the molecules in them, the receptors the molecules attached to, all of it. All drug information, all the psychedelics I use, all the plants I use, I know about the molecules, the receptors, the LD50s, all of it. And I think it's because I'm so addicted to learning. And it's just, I don't know. It's just I love to learn. And I wish more people loved to learn, because you can't imagine what you can learn with the internet today. And use it while we still got it, because they're trying to censor the internet. And who knows what they're trying to censor, right? So like, what they're really trying to do, they're trying to gain control of the internet. So like, gain information from it now before that information is gone off the internet. Learn it now so you can put it back out into the internet if they delete it, right? Learn it now so you can spill the information to other people just in case it's gone tomorrow, right? Learn everything you can. What happens if like all the nukes went off in the world or some shit and the whole world went to shit, right? But yet somehow, some way, a lot of us still survived. Most of the scientists and doctors and all that would probably be dead. We need to be focused on being self-educated. You can even learn, now I'm not saying to practice, you should never